a lot of people, I guess it was mostly from Chicago, I see online, upset that they say that Bryce and his dad were cheating. That
Well,
they weren't
you're
waiting.
supposed to wait for the ball to land. I think they do that. I could be wrong, but I think they do that because there's all those kids in the outfield, and they want to make sure, because they're always running around looking for the ball. So I don't think they want to pitch them too quickly so that, those balls might hit the kids. I could be wrong on that, but you are supposed to wait till the ball lands.
If you waste one keystroke on a home run derby being fixed, you're a gigantic loser.
Well,
you're a life loser.
Let me guess. Drab complained about it.
No, dude, I was loving it last night.
Yeah.
I went back and watched Schwarber's rounds. He did the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, the pitchers did the same thing.
Yeah.
Cubs fans can
The only
eat it.
pitcher that I noticed that didn't was when Aguilar from the Brewers was hitting, and that guy would wait because the umpire would put his hand up, and then he would drop his hand, and then the guy would throw it. But for the most part, those guys they're all trying to get as many pitches in as possible. They want their guys to hit home runs. And by the way, so does Major League Baseball. They want those pitches to be thrown.
And the truth is, Bryce's dad threw some inside pitches that he couldn't swing at, some outside pitches. So maybe when he was hitting those home runs, those final, because that does seem like a lot of home runs in the final 39 seconds, he's cranking them out.
So he beat Schwarber 19-18 in the final. Becomes the second hometown player in the last, 5 years to win the Derby? Because
they said it's been done twice before.
Yeah.
I guess Ryan Sandberg did it back in the day.
And Frazier won it in Cincinnati, I think.
I know it's been a couple of years, but this format of the Derby is way better than before with the 10 outs thing.
Yeah, I agree.
Because
way better.
They would tire themselves out hitting 40 home runs in round one.
Yeah.
Way better. It worked out great.
It was electric last
night. So they
night.
go the 4 minutes, and then you get one time out. And I agree.
And it hooked Bryce because he was done after 13 home runs the first two rounds.
Mm-hmm.
What's interesting, I thought Bryce actually, he played to the crowd. I told my wife, I was sitting there, I was like, he's usually boring. He's going to be boring, but he was even good when he got on the mic right after winning it.
He was good. He was.
All right, here's Bryce right after winning the home run derby.
Tell me about what happened in that last minute. You're running out of time. What was the emotion going through your brain?
I better figure it out or I'm going to lose. So just try to hit the ball to the fence, and I did that. It's nice.
Only the third player to win in front of your home crowd. How much did that mean?
Oh, unbelievable. I freaking love this crowd. Every single night they come out and support us. Washington Nationals, baby. Let's go.
That's rare.
You've never heard him say that before.
That's rare. That's really rare. And,
what does it make you think? Well, let's throw it out to callers. If you want to call us on the Hadid Carpet Cleaning Listener Lines, 800-636-1067. I'm cynical. We just dealt with Kirk Cousins. Said a lot of the same type of things. But it does make you think he wants to stay in D.C.
Well,
initially, if you're not cynical, if you take away cynicism and you take away the past, you'd say, sounds like a guy who wants to stay here.
Certainly sounds like there's some D.C. pride that you haven't necessarily.
The dad
He's
pitching
jacked
to him.
up.
Dream come true.
Don't get caught up into it too much.
Yeah, he's getting kind of swept up in it.
No, but that you just don't. Listen, Bryce has been here. This is like his 7th year.
He's usually monotone all the time.
You don't hear that.
How many
Plus,
interviews have you heard?
He's been
Well, no,
laying,
but
for the last 6 or 7 weeks.
They've
he's been
never had
laying
an All-Star game in his park.
He's been laying
True.
low.
Where he's won the
been
Derby.
interviewed after game-winning homers.
Yep.
I mean, that happens all the time on the field.
Yeah.
A big hit or something. And
There was just a different energy there last night.
there was.
He's been in playoff games. That's the most emotion I've ever heard from Bryce Harper.
And it's,
Probably.
It's
I would
the
agree.
most where he's like really paid tribute to the DC fans.
Yeah.
Yeah. He wanted to. Look, he was fired up. The fans were fired up. It was a lot of.
It doesn't
energy
mean
there.
he's going to be here.
Look, if I
but
had
it
to bet,
certainly
he's not going to be here. But just for a few moments, it's like kind of sounds like he wouldn't mind a big fat offer from DC, and he might sign it.
Yeah. Maybe that's what happened when you're hitting 213.
right.
It humbles you a little bit.
But that said, I'm sure Chicago will jump in, and he wants to play with his boy who he played with in Vegas.
Right.
Chris Bryant.
Never
I
know.
was struck by
Schwarber
those.
says, "See you in Chicago" in a tweet. Now that might mean
See you next time you come
literally
to
next
Chicago.
time you come to Chicago, or it might be, if you want to read the tea leaves and say, well, maybe
Did he
he's
tweet
making
that
a
last
push.
night?
Yeah.
Yeah. I did take note of the comments. They did resonate with me, and of course it's emotion. You're caught up in the moment, but it was the first time I've heard him have this real passion for like being a Washington National.
Mhm.
Yep.
And I freaking love these. Well, I'm not even sure. Check isn't there like some sort of they have like these legal computers where you can check quotes and stuff. dig in there and see when the
You want
last time.
LexisNexis search?
Yeah, do a LexisNexis search of the last time Bryce said, "I freaking love these fans."
I freaking love, yeah.
I don't think I've ever
now
heard it.
Another cynical take, and if you want to chime in, 800-636-1067, is he's playing to the DC crowd as a reaction to some of the fans starting to turn against him. We talked about this earlier this week because he's struggling and they feel like he's going to leave. Also, a reaction to wearing the Vegas Golden Knights jersey for the Stanley Cup game.
Be a makeup.
Yeah, potentially kissing ass.
It's like when Will.
Combination of all of that.
And then the
I think
next-
it is. I think it's
It's a combination of all that. But I mean, look, it's just it was an emotional moment for him. He felt really good for what.
But
he
it was
did.
nice. I'll say this as a
He
Nats
came
fan.
back. He was down in the contest. He came back to win it. Place was going bananas.
It was nice to hear it. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I agree.
As a Nats fan, I enjoyed hearing him give the fans a shout out like that and to hear some of that pride